Hi, it's Ola and welcome back to my channel, and today is a bullet journal video. This is my plan with me weekly spreads for the month of March. If you already saw my setup, you probably know that my theme for this month is plants. And if you haven't seen that setup, I will link it in the description box down below and in the cards up in the corner, so you can go check that out after you watch this one. So for this setup, I am using a dingbat notebook, and if you are interested in getting one for yourself, I have a discount code for 10% off, which is OA10. I will put it up on the screen and also in the description box down below. And without further ado, let's jump straight into this video. So this is the first weekly spread I made, which is a layout I do pretty often actually, which is to have 6 columns and 5 boxes, which are 4 centimeters wide with 1 square in between on each side, and then on the right side I only have 2, and the last pot is for 2 stacked on top of each other, which is for the weekend, so I have a little bit more space and I just have all the days, and I don't have one box for the weekend. And then at the bottom on the left side I have a note section, and then I just decorated the bottom of the page with every type of plant that I thought of. Sorry for the fact that I have no idea what those plant names are, so yeah, really sorry for that. But basically what I did is to just have different kind of plant and also a lot of variety of colors. And at the top of the page I added a tiny little rectangle for what week it is, and a strike of green just to add a little pop of color. And then I basically stayed with really simple things, just keep it pretty simple, as the rest and all the plants are actually pretty heavy on doodles already. And what you see me now do is add the numbers in green underneath the days of the week, which I added before, and that's just to have a little bit more color inside of the days. And then I just spent the time to add all of the colors for all those plants, and it's actually super therapeutic to do. I would recommend to anyone, even if you're really not good at drawing, just do it for the fun of being able to color in. And also this little one with all the different strikes going everywhere, you can see me only do a couple of leaves, and that's just because I decided afterwards that I wanted to color it in entirely, so yeah. And once all of this was done, I just was done. Basically I colored in the pots and just was done with it. And then it was time to go on to the second weekly spread, which is one of my favorites that I done for these 4 weekly spreads, which I forgot to mention that I did 4. And basically I did on the left page and the left side of that page I have my tiny calendar at the top, which I do pretty much every single week. It's just a little thing that I love to do to keep track of where I am in the month. And then underneath it I have an event section, which is used to keep track of appointments and just things like that. I am currently ill, so having a designated section for that is really useful, as I usually have a lot of appointments. And then I did 3 boxes for the right page and the left page. Technically I divided the page into 3, leaving 2 squares at the top and 1 at the bottom, and I just added little pots for each one of the days. And I added the number of the day and what day it is in cursive behind it. And then the last box, I made it a lot bigger, going all across the page to have the weekend, since I only had 6 boxes, and that way I just have everything for the weekend. Usually when I actually use it, I divided the page into 2, but that's up to you. Once each plan for each day was done, I did on the right side a couple more plans, one hanging from the top of the page, one standing on the weekend part. You could use that section for a notes or anything like that, but I didn't want it to do it, and so I did plans to occupy the space that I had. And that's basically it for like the doodles. I didn't go anything too heavy. You can see me add the days in cursives. Because there's so much doodle going on around, I decided to go really light on the handwriting and just everything else. And then I just had to spend a lot of time coloring. Honestly, that's probably what took the most time out of every single one of those, is just to color everything. So I started with all the pots because it's different colors than actually making the leaves and all of that. I used a red, a gray, and sometimes a blue, a really light blue, and then I used a couple different greens. Actually, I think I did 4 or 5 different greens, which is a little bit too much for a color palette that is pretty all together and cohesive around everything. But if I didn't want all the pens to look exactly the same, that's what I had to do. And once all the plants were done, I added in the pots the numbers corresponding to each day, and then you can see me also add the numbers in the event section using green. And that's basically it for this spread. I am in love with this one. It's just, I'm so excited for the day that I'm gonna be using it. But yeah, that's basically it for this. And next is the 3rd weekly spread, and also the second to last one, because there's only 4. I kind of messed up and forgot to do the last one, but that's okay. We'll be in April, and that's perfectly fine. And then basically for this one, I did kind of a similar layout than what I did with the event section, which is a little bit wider, and then I did boxes with a little label at the top. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's basically a label of 2 squares wide at the middle of each top of box. I have 3 going down on the left page, and then it's basically made for 2 columns, but I only did 1 on the left page, and on the right page I did the 2 columns, but not going all the way to the bottom, only making 4. So I have 1 box for each day, and I had a lot of space at the bottom for doodles, which I love. That's usually what I do when I have a lot of space with these kinds of layouts. You could also make 1 more box and have designated note section or anything like that, but that's not what I decided to do for this one. And also I love the fact that I had the space for absolutely everything. So I had my little calendar with the numbers of the week, which if you don't know this already about me, I am a high school student and I number my week from the beginning of the school year, which means that basically I have the week 30 for this one because it's the 30th week of the school year. Even though I technically dropped out, I am continuing with the same thing just because it works in my brain for some reason. But you could also number the week based on when you start in the year, so like the first week of January. And the way I do it is I have my future log with the numbers of the week. And so basically when I add something to the future log and then I do later the month, I can just go check out what I have for that week in the future log, and it's a lot more cohesive, and I can have things in advance and just add them to the right week. But here you can see me do all the doodles for this bottom part of the spread. I did this beautiful ladder, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's basically like shelves stuck together. Like, it's, I don't know the word for it, but I love it. And I honestly I was in love with how it turned out. I didn't color in the box because I thought I already had way too much colors. And then I went in and colored in the event section, which I just have one square colored in for the first initial of the day. And then I just colored in the rest of the spread. You can't really see it that much on camera, but I actually used a really dark green for the numbers of the days that you have in the little things, the little labels at the top, but you can't see it very well on camera, so that's pretty sad. And then for this last weekly spread already, I can't believe it's already the last one, but I basically did a separation of each page, just having a line down, and it's not in the middle or anything. I think I left 9 centimeters for the day, and I'm not sure how many there are for the outer part, but I basically did that and added a stroke of color alternating between beige and green, dark green, kind of sage green. And then I have my days, and I separate it into four, which is basically 4.5 centimeters wide for each day. And then I added a huge plant on the left side, and on top of it my mini calendar, which is week 31, of course. And then on the other side, which you will be seeing in a second, I did something that I'm so excited about. I didn't know if it would turn out okay, but it did, so I'm excited about that. I did hanging chains of plants. So I have one with the leaves falling down at the top, eucalyptus style on the middle, and then at the bottom I have a glass one. You can also see me now do all the lettering, calligraphic, and all of that. I just did simple cursive because once again there's already way too much on the spread. So that's what I did, and I am so happy with how it turned out. This is probably my favorite one. Honestly, the chain of plants, which you can see now that I did, I'm a little disappointed with the choice of colors because it's a little too bold compared to the other curls, which are a little bit more toned down. But in the end, it looks so great, and I'm so excited about it. And it's actually almost the end of this video. So if you like this, please leave a follow, like the video if you want to see more of this, and I will just let you guys with the couple last seconds. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!